What's up, everybody? It's your boy Hawk, and welcome back to another episode of Hawk's Hoops. First episode in it's probably since February. Let's just keep it real. We all know I don't be doing these on the regular, but I miss basketball. Be quarantining. As you can see, the do-rag is on, because I ain't gonna hold you. It look crazy underneath this. It look crazy. It look crazy. I'm blessed enough to be one of the people who know how to cut their own hair. I just ain't cut it yet. I'm probably gonna cut it after this. But I knew if I cut it, I wasn't going to feel like recording. I'm in the mood to record, so let's just get it over with. Y'all just have to deal with the do-rag. As we know, basketball's been going for over a month. It's been like, I think, a month and a week now basketball's been gone. If you ask me, it ain't coming back this season. I don't know how they're going to do it, how they're going to resolve anything, how they're going to do playoffs, championships, awards. I don't know how they're going to do it. But if you ask me, I think it's done. I don't think they're going to come back with nothing this season. But I wanted to come on here, and based off of what we did see in the season, I just wanted to give a recap on how I felt the season went. We're going to go over some awards. We're going to go over who I would have picked to win the championship. So let's just jump right into it with Rookie of the Year. Now, I'm going to say off the rip, if the season would have continued, and if by some miracle, the Pelicans would have made the playoffs and Zion would have stayed on this crazy trend, I ain't gonna hold you. I might have been one of the people to say give Zion Rookie of the Year. I know it sound crazy. It sound real hype beastie, joining the bandwagon, yada, yada, yada. But I'm just telling you how I feel. But since the season stopped where it did, you got to give it to Ja Morant. You got to give it to Ja Morant. He played phenomenal this year. He is explosive. He can finish around the rim. He showed that he could show up in big moments. The Memphis Grizzlies were always a team that was fun to watch, because they felt like they kind of had a chance. Now, if they was going up against, the big, real contending teams, all right, maybe not. But the middle of pack playoff teams, you always felt like they had a chance in them games. For Defensive Player of the Year, I ain't gonna hold you, I was kind of stuck. I'm never really that interested in Defensive Player of the Year. It's always hard to quantify for me. Like, you really got to watch the games to be able to decide who the Defensive Player of the Year is, in my opinion, because it's hard to go off of stats. Because if it's a big man that's winning it, you're looking at blocks and rebounds. Yeah, you can look at the defensive rating and all of that, but then you get into advanced stats and advanced metrics, and not everybody loves those. When you're talking about a guard who could potentially win Defensive Player of the Year, well, we're looking at the steals, maybe some rebounds. But in both scenarios, you really got to watch it to me, really get a good idea for who Defensive Player of the Year is. And I was really stuck between Rudy Gobert and Giannis. And for me, I was going to give it to Giannis. I love the way Rudy was playing defense this year, but I think Giannis was what he was able to do to, in my opinion, really being able to guard anybody on the court at any moment, being able to switch on all five players, guard all five players well, and that's including point guards. He has the quickness for it, and he's obviously got the size to guard centers and guard them at a really high level. Like, Giannis can lock people up when he really want to get in that defensive bag. He can rebound, he can block shots, he can get steals, he plays passing lanes. Like, he has the ability, the body, and the IQ to play elite defense. All right, for most improved player, I ain't gonna hold you. This is a word I don't really be caring about. I'm just gonna put it out there. I don't really care about most improved. If I have to give it to somebody, I don't know. If I had to give it to somebody, I'm not gonna hold you. I was gonna say Siakam, but I think the more deserving player is Brandon Ingram. I think Brandon Ingram really showed out this year. He showed, I feel like, the first step of what we were all expecting him to be, when everybody's like, yo, he could be the next KD. Like, I don't think he's going to get to KD's level, but that style of player, that lanky, got the shot, got the handle, can, do a little bit of post work, athletic, can dunk the ball, stuff like that. Brandon Ingram really was able to show that this year, I think, because he was on a team that allowed him to work a lot more, allowed him to get into space and all that, especially before Zion got there. He was really getting into that bag before Zion came back. And even when Zion came back, it's not like they just gave the whole team to Zion. They still let Brandon Ingram stay involved in the offense. So Brandon Ingram is my most improved player for this season. All right. So now we're getting into the award that most people be wanting to talk about. Most people are interested in, the MVP, the Most Valuable Player Award. And this really shouldn't be no surprise. This Giannis Antetokounmpo. Like, if you didn't have Giannis as your MVP, I don't know what you was doing. A lot of people were saying LeBron. He had a good season. Don't get me wrong. But it's just really how Giannis was playing all season. Never let off the gas. He literally looked like the best player on the court every time he stepped on the court. I don't care who he played. I don't care who he played. He looked like the best player on the court every time he stepped on the court. Defensively and offensively, he gave you everything. He gave that Bucks team everything. And to me, it's not even really close. Like, if you look at numbers, yeah, you could make arguments for everybody else. But if you was really watching the games, it's not close. He is the MVP, hands down. And then last but definitely not least, let's talk about who I consider real contenders for the championship. And then I'll say who's the team I think would have won the championship. Now, coming out of the East, I really only saw the Bucks as a contender. The Sixers was wilding, running around with 5 centers on the court pretty much at all times. The Raptors, I think, had the ability to maybe make some noise. They probably could have beat the Sixers in the second round. I wouldn't have been surprised. Like, that's how bad I think the Sixers had been playing towards the end of that season. Like, I love and hate the Sixers. I don't want to go on a rant about it. The Celtics, I didn't truly believe in. I just don't think nobody was playing as good as the Bucks. The Bucks, to me, were definitely going to come out of the East, and we're the Eastern Conference contender. Now, if you go out West, it's a whole lot more contenders. Obviously, the battle in LA was going to be epic. When it really came down to it, if I had to pick which LA team I think was the better team overall after looking at the whole season, I think I still would have picked the Clippers. Part of me wanted to say the Lakers, but I think I would still pick the Clippers only because I think the sum of the, what's the phrase? Like the sum of the parts is better than the parts individually. I don't really know the phrase, but
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
the collective pieces that the Clippers had, to me, are in the surrounding cast. It's just better than the Lakers surrounding cast. Now, granted, out West, you did have some other teams that were looking like contenders. The Nuggets, I think, are still... I don't know if the Nuggets are still a piece away from being legit contenders and not just being a great team, or they're just another one of those players stepping up. I don't know if that means Murray's got to take a next step, or Jokic got to get maybe more aggressive offensively, like scoring-wise. We all know he can score, and he's an amazing playmaker, but maybe that next step scoring-wise. I don't know if the Nuggets actually need to get a new piece in, or just one of those players need to step up. I was really excited to watch the Houston Rockets in the playoffs, after trading away Capella, because everybody was like, yo, what is this crazy OD small ball y'all running? The biggest player on the team is 6'7", but they was winning games with it after it happened in them couple weeks that we was able to see it before, Rona shut us down. RIP in the chat. But like I said, but the Rockets were interesting, and I would have loved to see them play. Did I think they maybe was a contender to actually beat, an elite team and make it to the finals? Maybe not, but they would have been exciting to watch. Overall, who do I think would have won the chip? If it would have worked out like I thought, in my mind, you would have been looking at a Bucks-Clippers finals. And if the Bucks versus the Clippers, I think the Clippers got enough bodies to throw at Giannis to really tire him out. They got Doc Rivers is probably the best defensive coach in the league right now. We all know Kawhi, when he wants to be, can be the best defender in the league. Paul George is a good defender. Montrezl Harrell's a dog. So they had enough pieces to really just continue to throw bodies at him. I think they would have been able to really stop the rest of the surrounding cast that the Bucks had. Clippers would have won the chip. And that would have been exciting for me, being a huge Paul George fan, seeing him get his first chip. Kawhi getting his third chip on 3 different teams. Him being a back-to-back champion, likely being a back-to-back finals MVP. It would have been lit, but, Corona took it away from us. But it's all right, because hopefully, I don't know how they're going to do it, but I just hope next season comes back. Like I said, at this point, I'm at peace with knowing this season's probably over. But I need next season. I just need it. I need basketball to come back. So this got to be all over by October, November. Even if they got to wait till Christmas, that's fine. We've lived through that. I've lived through that at least once already with the lockout a couple years ago. So even if they got to push it back till, Christmas, that's fine. Give me a shortened season, but just give me something. But thanks so much for watching. If you disagree with any of my predictions or my choices, I'll say, or if you think I'm bugging, let me know in the comments. Let's get this conversation going. I'll catch you in the next one. I don't really know when that will be, because the last one was months ago. So next video might be when the season starts. I'm out. Peace. All right. Video is rolling. Audio is rolling. We just gonna say hawkshoops quarantine episode 1 because I haven't made a video in who knows how long. Honestly, when was the last time I made a video? Weeks ago? It had to be like February or March. Kawhi's probably one of the best. We all know Kawhi's